Some of us are heartbroken over friendship that ended. But if we are being honest, not every friendship was destroyed by betrayal. Some friendship died because nobody fought to keep them alive. Everybody was waiting for the other person to call, test, check in, or make an effort. And eventually the friendship became a memory. Sometimes I think friendship is one of the most underestimated relationships in life. We spend so much time talking about romantic relationships, family relationships, and professional relationships that we forget how much our friendships shape who we become. Some of our happiest memories involve friends. Some of our hardest moments were made easy because a friend was there. Some of the biggest lessons we learned came through friendships. Yet, despite how important they are, many people struggle to maintain them. When we are younger, friendship often feel effortless. We see each other every day. We attend the same schools. We live in the same neighborhood. We share similar routines. Being friends does not require much planning because life naturally keeps us connected. Then adulthood arrives and suddenly everything changes. People move away, people get jobs, people start businesses, people get married, people have children, people develop new priorities. And before we know it, the friendship that once felt unbreakable is being tested by real life. I think one reason friendships become difficult to maintain is because we underestimate how much effort they actually require. We assume that if a friendship is genuine, it should survive without maintenance. But most everything, let me say, almost everything valuable in life requires attention. A garden requires attention. A career requires attention. A relationship requires attention. Friendship are no different. The problem is that many of us get busy and convince ourselves we will reconnect later, we will call later, we will visit later, we will check in later. But later has a way of becoming months, and months have a way of becoming years. Then one day we realize we have become strangers to people who once knew everything about us. Another reason friendships struggle is because people change, and this is something I think many of us find difficult to accept. The person you were 5 years ago is not the person you are today. The same is true for your friends. People grow, people mature, people develop different interests, people experience things that change their perspectives. Sometimes two people grow together, sometimes they grow in different directions. Neither person is necessarily wrong. It's simply life. Yeah. But many friendships suffer because we expect people to remain exactly who they were when we first met them. I have also noticed that unspoken expectations destroy a lot of friendships. We expect people to support us the way we support them. We expect people to communicate the way we communicate. We expect people to show loyalty the way we define loyalty. Then, when they don't meet those expectations, resentment starts growing. The problem is that expectations nobody talks about become disappointment nobody understands. And sometimes the friendships suffer not because there was bad intention, but it was because there was poor communication. Another challenge is pride. Pride has ended more friendships than most people realize. A misunderstanding happens and neither person reaches out. A disappointment, or let me say, a disagreement happens and neither person apologizes. Distance grows and both people assume the other person should make the first move. Weeks pass, months pass, years pass, and the friendship that could have been saved disappears because two people were waiting for each other. This message is for me too because maintaining friendships requires something many of us struggle with: intentionality. It requires reaching out even when life is busy. It requires checking on people even when there is not a special reason. It requires making time for people who matter. It requires effort, and sometimes effort does not feel convenient. That is why many friendships slowly fade. Not because the love disappeared, but because the respect disappeared. Not because the memories disappeared, but because the effort disappeared. One thing I have learned is that friendship is not measured only by how long you've known someone, it is measured by how consistently both people show up for each other over time. Some people have known each other for 20 years and barely know each other anymore. Other people, or let me say, other people have known each other for 2 years and built a bond that feels like family. The difference is always time. Or let me say, it is not always time. The difference is investment. I also think social media has created an illusion of connection. We see people's update, we like their post, we watch their stories, we know what is happening in their lives, but knowing what is happening in someone's life is not the same as being present in it. A friendship cannot survive one passive observation alone or on passive observation alone. At some point, real conversations are still necessary. Real effort is still necessary. Real connection is still necessary. The older I get, the more I appreciate friendship that survive honesty, distance, misunderstandings, growth, and changing seasons of life. Those friendships are rare. They are not perfect, but they are real. And maybe that is the lesson. Friendships don't usually last because they are easy. They last because people decide they are worth maintaining, because someone makes the call, someone sends the message, someone chooses to care, someone chooses to stay connected. Again and again. Many friendships don't end with a fight, they end with silence, a silence that grows longer until two people who once meant so much to each other barely speak at all. So ask yourself this, or let me say, let's ask ourselves this question. When was the last time we checked out to, or we reached out to a friend genuinely? Because sometimes the friendship you are missing is not gone, it's simply waiting for someone to make the first move. I just want to share.